Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the podcast that sets out to answer that age-old primary school playground question of what's your top 5. And this episode is also part 2 of our World Cup special, and I'm delighted to be joined by a fellow podcaster, footballer and a man with the best head of hair the Cinch has to offer. It's Cillian Sheridan. How are we doing, man?
Thanks for that intro. I know it's like a podcaster before footballer.
Oh yeah,
that's not yet.
Oh no, you're making waves. Those intros are top notch.
Thank you.
Well, obviously, as I said, this is a World Cup special. What have you made of the World Cup so far?
I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the setup of games. So see, like the groups having games on all day.
Yeah,
like you just knew if there was no game on, you're like, well, the most I have to wait here is an hour.
Yeah.
So I've enjoyed that part of it. It's been exciting, like in terms of how results have went.
Yeah,
the games haven't really been
and stuff. Yeah,
games haven't been exciting, but the like permutations and all that ended up like really good.
Because I think match day 3 went, because so many games were like, a winner goes through, whereas usually by match day 3 you've kind of decided who's won the group, who's second sometimes as well. Whereas for this, there was only a couple of teams that had actually qualified. So I think match day 3, once that kicked in, it kind of
Portugal and Brazil were the only two, I think.
France, maybe they scored late on, but even then, it was like England weren't guaranteed mathematically. It was pretty certain it was just goal different. But even then,
we won't give it to them then.
No. They hadn't qualified. Who's surprised you most in this World Cup? Not necessarily like one-off games, but maybe three you thought.
Probably, I haven't watched a lot of Spain. And I didn't realise how good they were.
Yeah, I think a lot of people kind of underestimate it, which is weird because of how many good players. But because they don't have the players of the past, it's a very young team. But I think a lot of people have been pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I think they could like dominate and destroy a team.
Yeah, keep possession and just kind of break teams down. I think when the squads were announced, everyone saw Brazil as like, oh my God. And for me, they're still the team to beat, and I do think they'll go on and win it. What about yourself? Who do you think?
I have been saying Brazil, but seeing Mbappe.
Yeah.
Before I was like, I said it quietly, but I was like, I think he's overrated because I hadn't really seen him as good as he is now. Yeah. But this tournament, I'm like, okay, he's...
Yeah, I think as well, when they lost like Benzema at the start, France were like, oh, that's a big loss.
Yeah, true.
But then Giroud came up and scored a double in the first game, and it's like, oh yeah, he can still put the ball in the back of the net.
Griezmann's been good as well.
Yeah, he has, not scoring goals, but just his link-up play and all that.
Yeah. He's involved in nearly every attack they have.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rabiot as well. He's been so good in midfield. Like they say, the world champions, but a lot of people were like, oh no, France aren't really going to do anything this tournament. I think the England-France game's set up to be great. Like I really do think it'll be a really good game of football, because I think England had their kind of gimme game at the start. They scored 6 goals. Yeah. Then they struggled against USA.
Wales was a gimme game as well.
Yeah, but then even Senegal was like, everyone says they've not had a real test, but who better to test yourself than against the world champions? So, but obviously we're all hoping for a France win. Moving on to kind of World Cups of the past. Now, we were born in the same year, but you have a much bigger advantage of me of having 3 World Cups that Ireland have reached in your lifetime. You won't necessarily have watched them as they were live, especially Italia 90, but Scotland only have 1998. Would it be hard to narrow down to your top 5 Ireland goals through the World Cup? Now, I did a wee bit of research. There's 10 to pick from, so you've got to give me 50% here. But yeah, no order, your top 5 goals, whether it be importance or the actual quality of the goal.
Now, I wanted to only give goals that I've witnessed, not witnessed, but alive for and like actually watched them. Because 90 I was 1, 94 I'm still too young.
Yeah.
So really, I've to narrow the 10 goals down to 2002 World Cup.
Yeah, but they might have scored 5 because they scored 3 against...
Remember the opener, Matt Holland?
Yeah.
Edge of the box, little volley, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Then the best one is Robbie Keane's. Yeah. Last minute against Germany.
Yeah, we watched that in school, like because it was coming to the end of the year. Yeah. I think it was one of the RE teachers had like the telly set up, and it was just loads, and it was absolute scenes because Scotland went there.
I'm sure we had like the whole school.
And they said, like,
obviously it would have been different being in Ireland, but it was like the whole school was in like one big area watching it. I'm sure it was there, or else I've just imagined it, made it up and imagined it. But I'm sure that's where I watched it.
Yeah, that World Cup for Ireland was brilliant because Robbie Keane was, because it all started.
Duff as well. That was Duff's World Cup.
I love Damien Duff. But then Roy Keane at the start left the camp, and it was all that's all the kind of media talked about.
From that one, I'd remember the goal. Obviously, I was saying the first one, Robbie Keane's against Germany, Damien Duff's against Saudi Arabia because he was playing so good.
Yeah,
and then you're like, okay, he's got a goal now as well. Like
exactly.
he's class.
Yeah.
I didn't remember or realize Robbie Keane's penalty against Spain was the last minute.
Yeah, because it was I
remember Ian Hart's the one he missed,
and then he got subbed off. I remember, and then I think it was Niall Quinn or something was almost getting his jersey pulled up over his head. Talking about that game, I was saying to you, that's the jersey that's been, and I didn't mean to hang it up as a reminder to you. But yeah, the last kick of the game, like 94th minute or something.
Yeah, I didn't realise that.
Aye, that World Cup was amazing. I think because it was probably like 98, say, was great. Scotland were there. I was 9, but that wee bit older.
I only got the tail end of 98.
Yeah.
I wasn't really like involved in it fully or like watching it.
Yeah.
And then I just remember like it was probably like semi-final time where I kind of like got drawn into it a bit.
Yeah.
I didn't have any interest in it.
I think probably going into it, had Scotland not been in it, I probably wouldn't have had as much interest. But as you say, by the time you get to 22, the players that were playing at that time, the time of day it was on, because it was during the day, you got to school, it was great. Now, obviously, there's a few goals there. You weren't necessarily watching the back in 1994, but there was some, I think, special goals from Ireland.
Yeah, there's Ray Houghton's big ones. But I don't really like Ray Houghton. I don't want to give him the credit for it
because he's not Irish.
I used to commentate on games, on under 21 games, and games I'd play in. I just didn't like him, and I've heard him commentating before. Yeah, and I just don't like him. So,
did they say anything personal about you?
No, not about me. Just other people. I used to be like,
just kind of slated them a bit.
Yeah, I'd be like, just give a bit of credit, man.
It's under 21s as well. Like, you're on.
No, but then in actual Ireland, like senior games, he'd be the same. Like, wouldn't give any credit. So
just always kind of looking at the negatives.
So payback from now.
So fuck you. I'm not counting your goal.
Getting any credit from me.
Then Italia 90 had the goal against England. Was it? Who scored that? Is it Kide or something? His name ended.
Sheedy.
Kevin
Sheedy.
Yeah, we'll edit that. So is it Sheedy?
Yeah, Kevin Sheedy.
Yeah, it was him. He scored against.
That's my knowledge of 90 and 94 is.
Yeah, to be fair, it's
non-existent.
I went and did a wee bit of kind of research to find it out. So we've between those World Cups and even
Can I include Jason McAteer's goal to qualify for it?
This is exactly, you took the words out of my mouth, because I remember watching that game.
That was a big goal, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you want to include that goal, you're more than welcome to create 5. Now, moving away from Ireland, there's been many special moments over the World Cup. I don't want to just narrow it down to goals. It was specifically top 5 moments in any World Cup that you've watched, whether that be penalty saves, penalty misses, your top 5 moments from past World Cups.
Probably because it was like one of my earliest, or like my first proper World Cup was 2002. And from the little glimpse I got of 98, it was all about Ronaldo, like R9. So from then, he was like my favorite player. So then to see him in 2002 scoring in the final after 98, I was like, oh, like,
yeah, we talked about it, and
that was for me the best moment of that World Cup. Even though obviously Ireland were in it, but you still had that to follow and support. So absolutely. As soon as Ireland were out, it was like, okay, Ronaldo, like you're supporting Brazil.
Yeah, absolutely, because it was, we talked about it on part 1 with Adam, and it was the kind of, not a redemption arc, but from what happened in 98 to 4 years later, kind of getting his moment after what happened just made it all that sweeter.
Yeah.
So we've got R9 as a whole in the World Cup. Yeah.
Ireland. Did I put in Ireland? Yeah, I had Ireland's last minute against Germany. Robbie Keane last minute against Germany is
it's iconic, isn't it?
Like one of Ireland's best.
It's everything about
World Cup moments.
It's the commentary, it's the celebration, like it's just all together. Like the fans behind the goal is just.
And it was kind of like it was just a route one goal as well, wasn't it? Niall Quinn flicks it on,
and
I'm sure you did. Yeah,
Ireland like a route one goal against Germany because it was in the
Shane Longden as well.
Just a route one straight down and bangs it in. That was not good for Scotland that night. That because we conceded a last minute goal to Poland, and then you beat Germany, so we couldn't qualify.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
You fucked it for Scotland that night.
Actually, I'm not too bothered about Scotland. Or I mean, I don't get enjoyment out of Scotland not qualifying. It's not like the other lot. Which is one of my other moments from 2002 as well. Ronaldinho scoring over Seaman.
Yeah. Do you think he meant it?
Yeah, why not?
100%. He did. He saw him off his line. A man that good.
Probably at the time you were like, maybe not. And then the more you got to watch him, you're like,
the more you look back on his career and what he used to do and like trying tricks and that, thinking, there's no reason why he didn't see him off his line. And
plus I think he's sound enough that if he didn't mean it, he wouldn't lie about it. He wouldn't lie about it. It's not like he's on the run from any government.
Won't delve into that too deep.
Along the same theme is the disallowed goal against Germany. Lampard's knocked out.
Yeah. I saw loads of England fans tweeting about like the Japan goal the other night being like, oh, like karma's a bitch. I'm like,
I know.
But the ball was in for the Japan one. So like
if you go down that road, then 66 wasn't a goal.
Aye.
Different game.
The one, I think it's everything about that as well, like Lampard celebrating, then the hands in the head, the commentators, like even the keeper's reaction is
and
like
how far over the line it was
like
as well.
So far over.
That's what I mean. If Ireland aren't in it, it's just
anyone but.
It's anyone that England are playing. Yeah.
And it's thing is, see when it comes to England in a major tournament, it makes it harder when their team are like a bunch of sound lads or like seem okay. It's the media and the fans, like even at the start of the Euros, I was like, okay. But as it got further and further, I was like, they can't. But even the start of
just one win,
the last World Cup, it was before the like Colombia game. I was thinking, it doesn't matter. By the time it got to the penalty shootout, I was like, please don't. And then they got through. I was like, oh no, it's happening.
Plus, that was the first time where they were like, right, we're not going to put any pressure on them. Yeah, because it was a young team. We're going to go easy on them. But then as soon as they beat Panama, like, and it was like, and then Neville and Wright, and it's like, it's just let them play, and it won't be that bad. But it's all the pint cups in the air and the fan zones. I'm like, this is so staged. Yeah. Why are you wasting a pint? Lager lights. And then the other one is World Cup Spain won, and they just like
dominated,
swept everyone aside. Yeah. And then I remember even in the final, wasn't Casillas was like saying like, ref, blow it up, like it's
done. We're not going to lose the ball. And because was that not the one where they played? Was it Holland? And he got the big studs to the chest and all that as well.
De Jong,
No, again, they just dominated, like you say, and it was
such a good team from the start, where everyone was like this Spain team, and they actually like lived up to
the hype
being that good.
But it's like we said about this Spain team, the players that they had in that. It's like the core of it was Barcelona and Real Madrid, two arguably the best teams on the planet at that time and still now, but especially that time, Xavi and Iniesta in the midfield. When you've got players playing together week in, week out, that's obviously going to transfer.
Yeah, true.
You probably look at the German like World Cup one as well. The majority of the team was like Bayern Munich and Dortmund. Yeah. When they're playing together, it's going to in theory, should translate. That's my worry about this England team. There's quite a lot of players that play together and like they're linking up well, and I'm like, oh no, it's happening again.
No. Come crashing down.
Mbappe. So moving away from moments, we obviously have had iconic moments, and I spoke about this in part 1, and we talked about strips, because I've got some hanging behind me. I've got one of my favourite jerseys on, which has not been a good omen because Japan lost today at this point of recording. But yeah, top 5 strips from World Cup.
The first one that always sticks out is, and because I had it, most of them I had, the Cameroon sleeveless one, from 02.
Because they've forced them to put
the
sleeves
the little black sleeves on it.
But they always just have such cool fucking strips. Because they had the one where it was like the tiger stripes and stuff like that. But yeah, the sleeveless one was
the sleeveless
iconic.
one. The Italy Kappa, the stretchy one.
So good.
It was just like so Italian.
Yeah, because there was like Roma had the same kind of tight stretch. Like that Kappa, because it was just so plain, the classic crest. Yeah.
And I remember it wasn't always a jersey that you could just get in any sports shop.
Yeah.
It'd be one that would be in like a little random independent sports shop where it just happens to just
be there.
Appears there.
Yeah.
The other one was, what were the other ones? The Brazil 2002, because I remember having it.
Yeah, it was basically, I think it was that jersey there, but the yellow with the green.
I remember going into, I can't remember where it was, and had on sale. Because the only reason I got it was because it was on sale, but it was the actual like official match one,
so it was
and
like
it had the
layers,
netting, it had the netting underneath it.
Yeah.
And then I had Ronaldo 9 on the back of it, and I loved that jersey.
They were so good, like so
yeah.
good.
Plus, a Brazil jersey's always. There's never really been a bad Brazil jersey.
Yeah, it's like you kind of think every year like it's yellow and green, but then every year you see it, you're like, oh, that's class. Even like this one, it's got the kind of pattern in it with the kind of wee button column. Oh, that's smart as fuck.
Actually, I had both of. I remember having that Portugal one and that Argentina one.
Aye,
obviously didn't have the Spanish one. But. And then the other one was the Argentina one from '86.
Just
that Maradona one, that retro one. Yeah, was just cool.
Yeah, because you can get that, and there's the wee kind of stalls that sell like the football t-shirts.
Yeah,
and they've got that, and it's like got the printed on captain's armband and stuff like that. And it's even as a t-shirt, it's smart as fuck. But yeah, just this plain.
Yeah,
it's iconic again. It's kind of synonymous with a World Cup.
Yeah,
you think World Cup
and then the France '98 one. Probably at the time and like the years after, it wasn't really such a big thing.
That kind of
but
style.
Now, like the last 3 or 4 years, when it's like all the retro shirts are back in, that one's always up near the top.
I think now when they release tops, and you're just like, because you look back, and now they're trying to release tops that are retro themed. It makes sense. Yeah. Every top's now inspired, inspired by this, but you can't fault it. There's a huge market.
There's a reason they're doing it.
Now going back to Ireland, what we need to do is create a 5-a-side team of Ireland players that are featured at the World Cup. I've probably got an idea of who some of them may be, but give me a top 5.
Do you know what? Okay, it's easily. I can easily make a substitute there. I forgot that it was a 5-a-side, and I didn't pick a keeper. So Shay Given.
Yeah.
Shay Given is in goals. Kevin Kilban, he can play anywhere along the back.
Yep.
Damien Duff in midfield. Robbie Keane. Niall Quinn up front. 5-a-side. Route 1.
Just long.
Route 1 and 5-a-side.
Just playing Germany at 5-a-side.
Yeah.
Route 1. That's a strong team. If you came up against that at 5-a-side on a Tuesday night, you'd be fucking gutted.
I would have put Roy Keane in, but he wasn't involved in my World Cup. So
I know, he'd turn up late or not show up.
Yeah. So he was.
Now, similar again, what I'm looking for is a World Cup winners 5-a-side team.
Okay.
A wee bit more depth into this in terms of maybe why you picked these players. Was it just their performances at World Cup or just overall? So starting at the back, who's your keeper?
Buffon.
Yep.
I think out of close between him and maybe Neuer. Spain never really had like a top goalkeeper.
Casillas, but
I mean, Casillas would be fun.
That's what I was going to say. It's like you say Casillas, and he was a great, probably world-class keeper, but when you say Buffon, it's like a whole new bracket, isn't it?
I think Buffon, because I'd even put Buffon just as like, if I was picking like my best team, there's a good chance I'd put Buffon in.
Yeah, I think that was even when we used to do like 11-a-side team of the greatest team in the world. Yeah. Everyone used to, I think, go for Buffon.
And you could probably have him for like 10 or 15 years of his career where he was probably still like
consistent
the best
all the
keeper,
way. Absolutely.
So Buffon, Ronaldo, R9, just because it's R9. He's the one when everyone says Ronaldo, and they're like the real Ronaldo. Yeah, that's when you're.
That's because that's what I even said. That it's like when people say fat Ronaldo. Fucking infuriates me. He's the real Ronaldo. Like he's the Nike advert that they've got out just now, and it has like the animation, and it's like him from 98, 2002, and like now, and then like he appears, and it's that kind of CGI where they're young. Yeah, it's brilliant. But I think Adidas have done the exact same thing with Messi through the years. I
saw that one.
Yeah. So I think it's like the Nike one. They bring back loads of players from different World Cups and stuff. It's got the similar kind of vibe from the Cage Nike advert from years ago. But it's got him from like 2002, 98 and now, and like he is obviously a bigger lad now, but he's still just one of the.
Plus, he just looks like he's just loving life.
That's what I would say. He's allowed to look.
Anyone that's ever met him has met him in Ibiza.
Where else would you want to meet him?
Ronaldinho,
purely for the free kick.
Just for how good he was. Yeah, like for about 5 years, he was like Messi level. Yeah, like how untouchable he was, like unplayable.
It's weird with Ronaldinho. Like he's so good and was so good, but because of Messi and Ronaldo and the longevity of it. Yeah, there's so many players that played all at the same time, but because they were all there at the same time, like Kaká as well, like all these players that were on all these different teams, it was like that early 2000s period. Ronaldinho was so good, but because there's no one at Messi and Ronaldo's level, the two of them are like the greatest of all time, like rightfully put on a pedestal. Yeah. But Ronaldinho is just different class. Yeah, it's his goal,
and plus 5-a-side him. That's his
the futsal ball, the kind of weighted ball, because it's the goal against Chelsea. He does the weekend.
Yeah, the little dance and the toe poke. Yeah,
like, unbelievable.
So who else have I got? Zidane. I had to put him in.
Yeah, you have to.
There was probably maybe one of the Spanish players like a Xavi or Iniesta, but. You kind of need to put the both of them in if you're going to put one.
Yeah, you can't have one with it all.
Yeah, so I'll put in Zidane. Just in case corners start getting awarded in 5-a-side, I've got Zidane. He can pop up with big-headed goals. So Zidane and I was looking through defenders. Yeah. And I've only gone from World Cups that I've really been in from 2002 on. Yeah. And the Brazil you're not really going to pick a Brazilian defender. No. Italy thought about it, but don't know if 5-a-side was really
needs someone with a better.
Germany had that was a boring team to win a World Cup, really. Spain thought about it. So then I've ended up not going with any defender and just going with a defensive midfielder with Pirlo. Because I was like,
just play out from the back. Just keep the ball for an hour on 5-a-side. Don't let them have a touch.
Yeah, so I went 5-a-side doesn't really need a centre half. Like
no, just someone who
back
can
four player, just a defensive minded player,
but can also just ping balls.
Yeah, so Pirlo.
That's a strong team. So working from the back, we've got Buffon, Pirlo, Ronaldinho, Zidane, and R9.
And R9, yeah.
That's a hefty. Yeah. That's a hefty.
In fact, I'd go like Pirlo, Zidane, Ronaldinho, Ronaldo. So I've got an extra layer.
Just just in case they drink by.
Yeah.
There's always just someone there to stop them.
Yeah.
So we've got through 5 categories there. We've covered Ireland goals, we've covered strips, moments, and we've got your 2 teams. But what we need from you now is to narrow that down and pick one from each category to create your ultimate top 5. So we'll start from the beginning. So an Ireland goal. I think I know what.
Ireland goal will be Robbie Keane's against Germany.
Moment from the World Cup. You can't pick Robbie Keane.
Or 9.
Just the whole kind of tournament.
Yeah.
Strip.
That's the hard one. I can't go R9's Brazil one again. I can I?
You got the sleeveless Cameroon as well.
Cameroon, let's give it to Cameroon. Cameroon, sleeveless Cameroon.
5-a-side team member from Ireland.
Duffer.
Yeah. I love Damien Duff. From I've said this before, from a Celtic standpoint, see when he left the backroom staff, I was so disappointed.
Yeah.
I had dreams of him just staying on in the back room and working his way up. I love Damien Duff. I think he conducts himself just.
Have you saw his intervs back in Ireland now as a manager?
So
class,
what is it when they got through and he's like, "Oh, we shouldn't be here" or something. Little old does and all that.
Yeah,
so
he just
good.
comes out whenever he is angry with something. He just comes out and slaughters whatever it is.
Yeah,
he's brilliant.
Because he's kind of like that as a player, because he was obviously at that Chelsea team was when it was the new Chelsea, and he was surrounded by all these superstars, but he still stood out and what he wanted to do in his post-match interviews and stuff like that. He was always so good. And then World Cup winner on your 5-a-side team,
Ronaldo.
So it's just, I think when it comes to the real Ronaldo, he's the best and woefully forgotten by some generations of football fans because of injury and his longevity of his career. But for me, the best.
I follow some pages on Instagram.
Yeah.
And it just is Ronaldo highlights all the time. And it's
Have you watched the BBC
documentary? No, not yet.
I've not got around to watching that either. I was going to ask if it was. I've heard incredible things, but what else was it going to be other than incredible when it's R9? But no, that's us. Thank you so much for coming on and giving your insight into the World Cup. But just run through it again. Who are you picking for your final? What do you think of this World Cup?
Oh, sorry, to win. I'm going to go France.
France-Brazil final, France-Argentina.
Does France have to play Spain to get to the final?
So they'll play. So it's
I think either France or Spain win it.
Yeah. Because I think it's the way it's looking. It could be an Argentina-Brazil semi-final. So I'm not sure what's before that in the quarters. But
I'll just say France or Spain.
France or Spain. Sticking with the Europeans. Yeah. Awesome. But again, thank you so much for coming in, Cillian.
Thank you very much.
Good one. Thank you, everyone. If you could follow, subscribe. Got more content coming soon. Thanks.